Hello again, and thanks for joining me on part 5 of Innovative Spelling, covering the top 100 most misspelled words. Our focus words today are with, said, many, time, and also. Now let's go break some old spelling habits and replace them with better ones. All right, now we're on to the next, part 5, the next 5. Here we go with the first one is many. A lot of times people spell many because it sounds like the word men in there, but there is no E in the word many. This one is a morph, or one that changes, which is kind of fun. Most people, if you find words that can be morphed, those are the most fun strategies to have. So for many, what we do is we start, I see the word an, any, many. So we start with the word an, add the word y to make any, and then the m to make many, and I'll show you how to do that. An, any, many. So that's kind of a fun way to remember how to spell many. It does sound like there's the word men in there with the E, but it's not. It's actually, think of the word and any in that one. So many. The next one is time. Sometimes people spell it Tim, or they know there's an E, but for some reason we stick it in the middle of the word sometimes instead of at the end, where it seems like we all should know the silent E. But then English throws all this crazy stuff at you, so then I understand why sometimes people put the E anywhere. Let's straighten that one out. I have a few different ones for that. For time, I have I'm in the middle of time. I'm in the middle of time. Why do you think that I would use that? Do you see the word I'm in the middle of the word time? I am. That's why I use it. I'm in the middle of time. I am. Another one that we use in case that's where you're not, that kind of helps with the E if you don't know where to put the E. Another one that helps too is I see the word, I'm going to say tie. I'm going to use the long I sound for that. Tie and me in this. So I think Ty told me, or Ty gave me an apple. Think of the word tie and me, and when you put them together, it comes up with time. Or I guess you could also think if you have Tim, you could think of the silent E making the I say I. That's the good old-fashioned way. Or you can use one of these other ones or come up with your own. The next one we have is also. There's many different kind of confusing spellings with that. I see a lot of U's put in also. Sometimes all, because it says all, A-L-L. Everybody seems to know how to spell all. We want to put A-L-L-S-O or A-L-L-S-U for also. But it's also. And if you have my book, or if you have seen the PowerPoint presentation on how all the 5 different types of spelling strategies that you can use, one of my characters is called Al, and in the book you see his picture. He's kind of a funny guy. Say hi to Al.
Al. I use him in this one to help me out, and I say, who said you're so great? Al told me so. Who said you're such a good speller? Al. Al told me so. Al, so. Do you see it? Al and so. Al told me so. That's how I remember the word also. The other one, 2 more, is with. A lot of times people put F at the end, with. I see this often more with my English as a second language learners because the f and the th are very similar, and English is one of the few languages like Greek and English have the th, and a lot of other languages don't have that sound, so it becomes a little difficult for various people. But with, I see it in there, and I also focus on the TH because that's where people have most of the problems. First one, focusing on it. Get with it! There is the word it in the word with. Get with it. And that reminds me that there's an IT or it in the word with. The other one that you could try is get with the game or get with the whatever. Get with the, by focusing on the word the starts with TH. It reminds us that with ends in TH. Get with the. That is another way to kind of help people remember. The last one, which I had a lot of difficulty figuring this one out. You probably may have figured out a way to do it, but it took me a while. And these are 3 or 4 of the ones that I've come up with. You might have your own for the word said. It's very difficult for people. A lot of times they want to spell it S-E-D. And all of these, just so you know, I see 6th and 7th graders who still misspell these words. Not just 2nd and 3rd graders. So
This can help all different grade levels. And like I said, the student I had the other day spelled said, who's in the 6th grade, S-E-D. I also see sometimes people will kind of almost spell said correctly. They'll spell it S-A-I-D, but put the E on the end. And I remember feeling that same way as a child. Like, I thought there should be an E in there when there isn't. We'll focus on that in just a second. So let's look at, there's a few different ways. The first one is, I said I need aid. Aid, help, assistance. I said I need aid. A-I-D. Might help some of us remember said. Aid is in the word said. But often I find most people don't know how to spell aid if they have difficulty spelling anyway. So then I focus on the next little bit. I said I need ID. I want to go to the movies. I need my student ID to get the cheap fare or cheap ticket. Or even if you're going on the bus, you want to get the cheap fare, you need your student ID sometimes. So I said I need ID, identification. ID is in the ending part, last part of the word said. That helps some people. Another one is, I said I'm sad, I said, or maybe I'm not sad, I said. And what helps me on that one is I write the word sad first, and then I think, I said I'm sad, and I put the I in there. You can also think of ID. But I start with the word sad and add the word I. And another one, last one I could say is going back to when I was a kid or when I was a student learning how to write, I was one of the people who put the E on the end, S-A-I-D-E. And what I used to tell myself when I was little was I'd tell myself, I said no E. I said no E. Then when I was writing the word, and then I'd look at it and I'd proof it and I'd look and say, oh, I said no E. I told myself that. Get rid of it. There's how we spell said. No E. There's several different ways to help you with the word said, because that one is, I find that probably of all of these is probably one of the most tricky ones. And those are the next 5. Looking forward to part 6, and I'll give you some more strategies. Keep coming up with your own. Put them in your spelling journal and notebook, and share them with your friends.
Thanks again for watching. Now remember, if you have any questions, comments, or you want to share your spelling strategies with me, go to teacherspayteachers.com. You can also find there the printable spelling cards, workbook, or even download the free PowerPoint presentation with all 5 different spelling strategy types. Remember, when you go to teacherspayteachers.com, to search under Innovative Spelling or Innovative Answers by Jolene. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.